Welcome back. Another free training that I am hosting here inside of Real Estate School. I'm going to be sharing my screen. I'm going to be using Batch Dialer to reach motivated sellers with an auto dialer system. I'm going to be calling for 60 to 90 minutes. Give or take, we'll just see how we do. And the goal here is to talk to sellers and talk to them about their properties.
We close fast and anytime that works for you. Your house don't need it. We'll throw cash and hit so fast, don't know what to do.
Hey guys, welcome back. Another free training that I am hosting here inside of Real Estate School. It is 1:58 p.m. Tuesday, April 18th. We're going to get started here in about 2 minutes. I'm going to be sharing my screen. I'm going to be using Batch Dialer to reach motivated sellers with an auto dialer system. I'm going to be calling for 60 to 90 minutes. Give or take, we'll just see how we do. And the goal here is to talk to sellers and get these sellers on the phone and talk to them about their properties. Before I jump in, I want to make sure I got the right microphones. Looks good, looks good. And if you all can hear me, just drop a comment and let me know, please. The goal here, again, I'm going to be looking at calling some motivated sellers, some sellers that have properties near my office here in St. Louis, Missouri, that I pulled from Batchleads. These are going to be vacant and absentee owners. And Mario says, hearing you fine, David. Cool. Thank you so much for helping me here. Just double check my systems. So let's go ahead and jump in here. This is being recorded. All the call replays will be hosted in Skool. Skool is awesome, and we are growing. We're growing fast. In fact, we're already to 335 members. Got a couple new people joining in here all the time. So this is cool. If you guys are here watching this and you're within the first 500 people, it's free for you for life. As an early adopter and help me jumpstart this new community. I don't necessarily, plan on charging a ton of money for Real Estate School. But after we get to 500 free members, there's going to be a fee to join. I don't know if that's going to be $10 or $200. But again, it is free for anybody that is here already. And for the next 63 people, basically till we get to 500. All right. So also, real quick, before we jump in, we have a free course on wholesaling, landlording, contract generator, real estate data, private money. I'm working on this right now, building this out. All of the call replays are stored in the call replay section. We have a virtual REIA on Sunday evenings. Here's the last one we just did, having fun on those virtual REIAs. And then we're doing deals A to Z. So Mike and I, every deal we do, moving forward, we're going to do our best, of course, to add a video every time we do something with it, when we buy it, when we go walk it, when we go check on it, when we sell it, all of this stuff. So you guys can essentially see how to do BRRRR deals, how to do wholesale deals, how to do rehab deals. Like, I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deals. So, our goal is to create a big library, and we might even add some deals that we've done in the past in here, but really the value is by you guys seeing what we're doing day to day, right? What we're doing as we just work and come to our office every day. And I mean, Mike and I are full-time investors, so very cool that we have that there. Calendar, of course, you guys can see all the good stuff. We have mastermind calls on Mondays and Wednesdays. Gonna have some more stuff coming in later this week, virtual assistants next week, more cold calling. That'll be kind of part 2. Today's part 1, running appointments. And then I'm gonna start adding some events to the calendar here for May, probably later this afternoon. But awesome, guys. Very great, cool, amazing community with classrooms and calendar. And there's a leaderboard, which is really, really cool. You guys can gain access to these different courses just by collaborating and coming on and, being a part of the community. And I'm going to be adding some other stuff in here. But right now, it's set up to actually get you guys free access to the mastermind, assuming you are here and you're, participating and doing all types of good stuff here. So very, very, very cool. All right. Before we jump into the dialer, I went yesterday or the day before. What's today? Today's the 18th. So 2 days ago, and I pulled 35 vacants in my zip code. I pulled 443 absentee owners in the same zip code, 63144. And I pushed those over into the batch dialer, which is what I'm going to be using today, folks. Now, we've already called a lot of these vacants and absentees, so not all of them got pushed over because some of these we've already marked as, do not call or not interested, so on and so forth. But I pushed over some of the more recent ones that we were able to just pull 2 days ago. If we get some time, I can even call some agents here too, but I want to go ahead real quick before I jump on in, and I want to unactivate these other campaigns. Now, before we jump in here too, I want to mention that Batch Dialer, I've been using it for about 2 years. It's an amazing tool. It's an amazing software. And there's a couple different ways in which we can use it. Number one, we can use it to call motivated sellers. Number two, we can use it to call agents and build relationships with agents to get pocket listings. Number three, we can utilize it to call cash buyers to, build our buyers list. We can use it to call anybody and everybody. It's just what kind of leads are you going to import in? But besides how we're going to use it, there's actually 2 ways in which we can really utilize this, this dialer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to, let's see here, let's log out for just a second, and then I'm going to log back in. Here we go, back into me. If you go back over to campaigns and you click on edit a campaign, you can see that there's a preview dialer, which is essentially going to preview who you're dialing. And that's a one-off dialer. And I'm going to start with that. And we're going to do that for a few minutes, 10, 15 minutes or whatnot. And then I'm going to switch over to the predictive dialer. Now, the predictive dialer is really cool because it will allow me to dial 2, 3, 4, 5 people at a time. The only downside to that is you're not going to necessarily be prepared like you might be with the preview dialer, because the preview dialer, it's going to show you all the data and all the information of who you're calling. So one of the things that I typically like to do when I'm doing the preview dialer and when I'm setting all this up is I don't want to, what am I going for? I don't want to have answering machine automation selected. And I don't even think it's given me that option here. Let me double check. It doesn't. When you go to predictive dialer, it gives you the option answer machine detection. It was selected here. So when you're using the preview dialer, I'm going to leave voicemails. So it actually took it off. You can see there. So call recording, and then you have the suppress. If you change this over to predictive dialer, you have another option here. So the predictive dialer, where you can do the multi-line, you can actually have it set to where it'll detect an answering machine, and then it'll give you the option if you want to leave a message or if you want to just skip it and go on to the next person, right? So when I'm doing multi-line dialing, I usually turn this on so it's not wasting time, and or tying up lines, if that makes sense. We can explain that in a little bit more detail later, because there's going to be a lot of lines going on, right? But when I'm using the preview dialer, which is just one line at a time, it previews the lead. You can see it while it's ringing in the background. I don't typically like using it. And again, they don't even give you the option. So it makes it pretty seamless. I'm going to record the calls here today. I'm going to suppress my system do not contacts. I'm not going to suppress my federal do not calls because I'm not selling anything. All right. If you guys want to do that, go do that. I'm not here to tell you right or wrong. Whatever you feel comfortable with. I personally don't, it doesn't bother me calling these people because I'm not selling anything. I'm not soliciting anything. And I'm literally calling people within, a mile of where I'm sitting right now. Like, this is my neighborhood. So I'm essentially going to call and I'm going to tell them, hey, I'm one of your neighbors here in Brentwood. I'm a real estate investor trying to buy some deals. Do you have any, properties that you're interested in selling? I'm not going to suppress my wireless. I am going to suppress litigators just because these people, they're essentially sue happy for people calling or texting or whatever. So it's just like, I'm not even trying to deal with people that are already angry. Let's just pull them off the list here. And that's really all there is to it. So David and Dennis, we have our numbers here. You can see here's the numbers that we're going to select. The contact list I moved over from Batchleads just earlier today. It's the vacants and the absentees. There was about, just under 500 total. But again, I'm constantly reaching out to my vacants and my absentees. So not all of those leads made it over because some of those had already been marked as, not interested or do not call, so on and so forth. I don't necessarily need a calling script, but if you wanted to add one in there, you can use one just like this, and I'll be happy to share that with you all. Call order is adaptive. You can set up your behavior. How many calls a day? How many attempts per record? What is your retry time? So I'm going to set it as 2 calls per day, max attempts per record. That's max total is 3 with a retry time of, and I'm actually going to change this to days, 2 days. So max calls per day is only going to be 2, but the retry time is 2 days. So I'm not even going to be calling anybody more than once in a day based on these settings. Again, you can play with these, set them up how you like. I don't have any numbers that aren't a local area code, so that's not really relevant, but we'll just keep it as enabled. Abandoned timeout is 30 seconds, and the rest of these settings are pretty straightforward. So again, this is going to be a single line dialer to get started here. And oh, by the way, before we jump in, if you head on over to the classroom in Skool, when you go to the call replays area, you're going to see seller marketing replays. So we have training call replays, a couple of the trainings that I've already done in here. All right. But this is essentially seller marketing. So when I'm doing cold calling or driving for dollars or cold SMS or whatever, I'm going to add all these call replays into here. And obviously this is today's date. It's the 18th. So when we're wrapped up with this particular, training right here, this video that we're on right here, right now, it'll end up right here. And I plan on doing this, once or twice a week with either calling or texting or driving for dollars. So we're going to build out an awesome library right here to kind of show you guys what this looks like. And the ultimate goal here, of course, folks, is to get people on the phone. We're also, having the free contract generating the free courses. It's all right there. You can check it out. You're in there, or else you wouldn't be on this call with me right now. And it looks like we got a few people here today with us. So guys and girls, welcome, welcome, welcome. And without further ado, it's 2:10. Let's go ahead and jump on in. So I'm going to switch account over to Dennis because Dennis is my agent. I'm the supervisor or the admin, and I have one campaign that's been enabled just right now. That way it's not bouncing back and forth. And this says that you can see here is a preview dialer. There's 102 leads. Each of these leads has multiple phone numbers. Pending dials, it looks like we have 81. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click available. And you can see that it's going to then ask me, what kind of, or which one of these I want to essentially call on, right? So I am going to go in here and, it's in prep work. Let's go to available. I need to search for my campaign. And I want my vacants and my absentees, this one here. So I'm going to click join. And it looks like it's going. Let's go back over to my dashboard and next lead. Here it is. So with the preview dialer, I'm going to be able to look and see what's going on here. Now look and notice that it's going to have all the different phone numbers. It's going to have the different contact lists that this lead might already be on, right? Which is really, really cool. It's even going to give me my call script if I want to. It's going to essentially have their name and their address. And it's going to show me how many different times I've already called them, if I've already called them, and their number and their email. And if I want to pull up Zillow on the property, I can click the Zillow link. So the preview dialer is a great little tool because essentially it's going to let me preview what I'm doing here and who I'm calling. And then I can click the call button and boom, right down here at the bottom, it's going to start calling. Pretty straightforward. Preview gives you the ability to preview and then dial. Essentially, it's kind of one-offs, but it's slower, but you can be more prepared, right? Whereas the predictive dialer, you can have 2, 3, 4, up to 10 lines. I don't recommend going that high, folks. 2 or 3 is typically enough.
Hello, we are not available now.
And since I'm using the preview dialer
number after the beep,
I'm actually going to leave some voicemails today, just on this part. Hi, this message is for Sam. Hi, Sam. My name is David Dodge. I'm calling from Household Easy Properties here. I'm one of your neighbors over here in Brentwood. I was actually calling about property you own, 43 Chapford Woods, 63144. I wanted to see if you had any.
Thank you for your call.
Sometimes it does that. It hung up. That's okay. No problem. So in this case, I don't know if it left a voicemail or not, guys. But what we're going to do is we're just going to put answer machine and make that as our note. And then essentially what I can do is I can click next lead, and it's going to tee up the next lead. So it's going to be a little slower, but still much faster than manually dialing every single number. Holy cow, that would be a lot of work, right? I don't recommend y'all do that, right? Also, by the way, batchdialer.com/Dave. Forgot to mention this, guys. You can get a free trial for 7 days with unlimited outbound dialing to test it out. I'll add this link into the call replay. All right, next up, we got Gregory over here. Looks like Sunset Green 63144. That's my Brentwood zip. Let's go ahead and give him a call. And I'm going to monitor the chat here too, guys. So if you have anything you want to...
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 31465036662 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, this message is for Gregory. Hey, Gregory, my name is David. I'm with Household Easy. It's April 18th, about 2 p.m. here. And I just wanted to see if you had any interest in selling 9230 Shortridge Avenue. I'm one of your neighbors here in Brentwood, and I'm looking to buy a few more properties. So I'm just curious if you had any interest in selling that one. If you do, give me a call back at 314-671-0080. And I'd love to talk with you more about that property. Thanks so much for your time. Have a great day. Boom, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I really want to have voicemail as a voicemail. I'll just write left a voicemail for this seller. And I don't have the voicemail button. So here's what I'm going to do real quick. I'm going to go, I might be able to do it under Dennis. Let's go to campaigns. It's really, really easy to edit these. Go over here and click edit campaign. I can do it in his account, which is great. Then I'm going to go to my call results, and I'm going to add in abandon and voicemail. They should have been in there to begin, but these are those call results. And the reason that that's important is because you can then go back in there and, sort by the ones that you maybe want to follow up with later, so on and so forth. Also, guys, before I even get to this next call here, if you go into the call replays, this is going to be really helpful for a lot of you. And you go to the training, and I need to move this down. And I'm going to actually do this right now. Cold calling on steroids. Let's go over here and do this right now. Cold calling on steroids. Well, let's do it later, actually, because it's going to require a little copy and pasting. No problem. I'm going to move this down. But in this cold calling on steroids, this is essentially lesson 1. And today's kind of lesson 2. Lesson 1 was how and why and what we do and what we say, right? Today is like just you looking over my shoulder, right? So this essentially is part 1 and today's part 2. But in here, there is a Dropbox link to 250 call recordings of my virtual assistants over the last year or two that have made calls to sellers that what we refer to is successful calls. Doesn't mean that I bought every one of these houses, right? But the sellers on these calls essentially said, yes, I'm interested, send me an offer, or, come out and view the property, right? So these can be very, very useful and helpful for you all to listen to outside of today's training and the future trainings, to kind of see what some of these calls are going to sound like and look like, right? Now, keep that in mind. I'm going to probably get hung up on today. I'm going to probably get told to take you off the list and to not call back. That's all part of the game, folks. This is a prospecting, activity, right? When it comes to marketing, we're either spending money to get our phone to ring, or we're spending time like I'm doing today to ring other people's phones. Don't overcomplicate this. Keep it simple. All right, we're going to call Demetrius. Looks like they got a property over here so again, you can see the property address and you can see the mailing address. So let's go ahead and jump on in. We're going to call Demetrius. And Anthony, I see you made a chat here. It says, you always keep too specific to that property or ask if they have any others that they're interested in selling. I ask that question if they don't have interest in selling this one or they don't know about this one. So it's a good thing. And I'll do that. Sometimes I forget, but usually I like to ask, hey, do you have any other properties that you may consider selling? Assuming that they don't have interest in selling this one or they don't know about it.
Hi, this is 862-6615.
Great question.
Please
Demetrius,
leave
or
a
Anthony.
message.
Yeah, hi, my name is David. I'm calling from Household Easy. I am trying to reach the owners of 9115 Maggie over in Brentwood, Missouri. I work over here in Brentwood, and I'm a local real estate investor, and I'm trying to buy a few more houses this month, and I'm calling because I wanted to see if you all had any interest in selling this house or not. If you do, I would love to talk with you further about it and even make you an offer on it. Again, my name is David. I'm calling from Household Easy. Today's April 18th. It's about 2:15 p.m. And you can reach me back at 314-710-4518. Otherwise, if you're not interested in selling, you can disregard this message, but I'd love to talk with you if you have any interest at all in selling that property. And again, my name is Dave. I'm with Household Easy. Thank you. Have a great day now. Boom. That's it. Now, notice that I added those call results and now I have more options. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select voicemail and I'm going to then write left a voicemail for the sellers. Right? And you don't necessarily have to leave the notes if you don't want to, but I like to do that. All right, next lead. Let's go. Let's rock and roll. Now we're going to be calling Mr. Daryl Black. Looks like his address is out in O'Fallon. So this is not a 63114 number or zip code. So I don't know how it got in here, but that's okay. I'm still going to call Mr. Daryl because I buy in O'Fallon. So we'll keep an eye on that. Maybe I might have adjusted some of the settings on accident. We'll have to just keep our eye on it. Mario says, how can we gain access to that Dropbox link? Great question, Mario. It's
Not available. Leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as
in
possible.
Skool.
Have a great
I'll
day.
share
Bye
it
bye.
again with you.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yeah, hi, I'm trying to reach Mr. Daryl Black. Daryl, my name is David. I'm with Household Easy Properties here in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a local investor, and I'm just trying to buy a few more properties this month. And I noticed that you had a property over at 40 Nez Pierce Court over in O'Fallon. I own a few properties actually in that area already. And I was just curious if you had any interest in selling that property. If you do, please give me a call back. I'd love to talk with you and even make you an offer on this property. 314-701-8380. Again, my name is David. Today's Tuesday, April 18th. It's about 2:20 p.m. And I'd love to talk with you about it, assuming you have interest in selling. If you don't, you can disregard this message. But if you do, please give me a call back. Let's chat. I'd love to make you an offer. And hopefully you're having an awesome day. Talk to you soon. Thanks, Daryl. Boom. Guys, this isn't rocket science. This is easy. You just gotta start. You gotta start doing it. All right. So left the seller, voicemail, knocked it off on the list as a call result for voicemail, and we are rocking and rolling. Now, there's a couple other things that we can do up here, right? We can click the Zillow link, assuming they answer, and get instant access to kind of seeing what the house looks like and what it's worth and what Zillow says it's got. We can even click the Google Maps link up here, right? And we can kind of see where the property is located in terms of, the map. Is it north or south of the highway or whatever, right? So you got some quick tools up there, which can be really, really helpful. All right. Let's keep it rocking. All right. Next, I don't have a name. 9031 North Swan Circle is a condo. And I used to live over on East Swan Circle here in Brentwood, so I'm familiar that that's a condo. I'm not really super interested in condos, but hey, if I can get a good deal, I can wholesale it or maybe even flip it. So we're going to call them anyway. I don't have a name, but if I get the name from them, I can always go in and add it in here, which is really, really cool. Sue says O'Fallon is near Scott Air Force Base, about 30 minutes east of St. Louis. That is correct. 30 minutes west. Well, the Air Force Base is 30 minutes east. Right. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi. I am actually trying to find the owner of 9031 North Swan Circle. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
I cannot.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Hello?
Barely.
Sir, I'm trying to reach the owner of 9031 North Swan Circle. Is that you by chance? My name is Dave. I'm with Household Easy. I'm an investor in St. Louis. I have an office in Brentwood right across the street. And I was actually just trying to reach the owner to see if you had any interest in selling that property today.
Call me back because I can barely hear you.
You got it, man. I'll give you a call here on another line here in just a few minutes.
Okay, bye.
Thank you, sir. Sorry about that. All right, so this one, they couldn't hear me. So let's see here. We're going to just mark as call back. And I'm just going to make a note. He could not hear me. So we will call him back. And I'm going to wait and do that later because, again, I just want to train with you guys here, right? So I guess what I could do is, and here it shows you the number that you are essentially calling, I believe, or no, right up here at the top. So this was the number that it was calling, the 369-6795 number. I guess one of the things that I could do is I could just reach out to him on another number real quick and see if that helps. I don't know if it was my phone or his, but we'll just give it a try. Smartphone. Uh-oh. Access to the microphone. Oh, it's not going to let me do it here because I'm on Zoom. That's all right. We'll just try this gentleman back later. I marked it as callback. So I have a note to call him back regardless, and I'll just give it some time. Let's keep it rocking here. Next, we got Betty, and Betty's got a property over at 8904 Lawn and 63144. You can see here that it shows mailing addresses. Now, again, I am focused on, let's see if I can open in a new tab. Nice. I am focused on a campaign right now that is specifically 63144 vacants and absentees. So I'm going to assume that a lot of these properties that I'm calling, and I just pulled this list 2 days ago over here in Batchleads, and it was the 16th, so 2 days ago. Today's the 18th. So these are very, very recent leads that I am dialing. Keep that in mind. So some of these are going to be vacant, some of these are going to be absentee. Some of the absentee might be vacant as well. It might be both vacant and absentee. I just kind of pulled them all into one place. All right, rocking and rolling here. Let's call Betty.
We're sorry, you have reached a number that has.
No problem. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go in and we're going to mark this as disconnected number. And we don't even need to make a note, but that way it'll mark it in our system as a number that's not worth trying to redial if we go back and do this campaign again in another day or two or three or even a month from now. Why would we want to call back numbers that don't get it through to anybody? We don't. So the system's going to kind of learn as we go, which is a really, really great tool. Also, by the way, you can see there's a drop down right here, right? This is a great little thing because when it's in available mode, you can see it here as well as up here. It is going to track how much time I'm spending dialing, if I'm at lunch or if I'm, on a break. And the reason that they have it like this is because I often, or you often, or a lot of the users often have virtual assistants that are doing the calling for them. So it allows us, the owners, the admins, the investors, right? You can do it yourself, just like I'm doing. But if you want to hire some help, you can track who they're calling, how many calls they made, how much time they were logged in is available versus on break or whatever. So you have all these different types of reports over here. And again, for sake of this training, I'm not going to dive into all that. We did that already, folks, over here in Skool, cold calling on steroids. That's part 1. And that's also where you're going to be able to see a bunch of call scripts and that link to the 250 successful cold calls that's in Batch that I was showing you all earlier. Again, that's in Skool, and I'm going to be moving that down to seller marketing this afternoon, and it'll be part 1, cold calling on steroids. Part 2 is today, this call right here, right now. Let's rock and roll. All right, next up, we got Mark. He's got a property at 9135 Maggie. We just called one on Maggie, oddly enough. So let's go ahead and call this one again. Oh, that was a different person, different address altogether, I believe.
Lauren.
Yeah, hi, I'm looking for the owner of 9135 Maggie Avenue.
Pardon?
I'm looking for the owner of 9135 Maggie Avenue in Brentwood. Do I have the right person by chance?
You're looking for the owner of 35 what?
9135 Maggie. I don't know if I'm saying the address right, but it's in 63144, Brentwood, Missouri.
I have no idea.
I got the wrong number, ma'am. I'm sorry. I'm trying to reach the owner because I'm looking to buy some properties. You don't have any properties you're looking to sell, do you?
Nope.
All right. Well, I appreciate your
I'm in
time.
Wilsonville, Illinois.
Got it. Got it. Well, have a great rest of your day. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you.
Guys, even though I got one like that, they don't have a property. I asked that question just like, what was that? Mark or Anthony had asked earlier, you know, if I ask them if they have any properties, like it can't hurt. And to be honest, you know, probably 99 times out of 100, they're going to say no, but you already got somebody on the phone. You might as well take the time to go about trying to see if they have anything at all. All right, so we are going to go and we're going to mark this as wrong number because again, I don't want to call that particular number back again whenever I'm going through and trying to hit another number here, right? So let's go ahead and let's go to, and I guess one of the things that we could do is we could try the next number. So let's see here. Oh, and you also got these property details. I forgot all about this. Property details. So when you do get somebody on the phone that's interested, you can see all kinds of stuff about the property. You can see the activities, what you did, when you called them, who did it, right? And I'm logged in under my VA dentist's account. So you can see there's been some stuff in here in the past, all the way back to 2020. You can see what campaigns they've been added to, right? You can see notes or take notes, and then you can even use a lead sheet if you want. So this is just so awesome. Sue says, what website are you using? Is it one of your sites? How can I access it? Yes, Sue, it is batchdialer.com/Dave. Use that. You can get a 7-day free trial and you can get unlimited outbound dialing as well. It's not Maggie, it's Madge, rhymes with badge. Madge, yeah, awesome. Very cool. Good to know. Thank you for that. I am the worst. If you've seen any of my trainings, I am the worst at spelling and pronunciation. It's just not my, strong suit. So let's rock and roll. Let's move on. All right, Steven Johnson. Steven's got one over on Lidsinger, 63144. Again, I can click on property details as well before I dial. Get a picture of the house, see it on the map, see the estimated value. Guys, all the information is right here. I mean, this is one of the best tools for prospecting, period. Raul says, hey, David, consider moving to Cape Girardeau, Missouri from Northern Illinois. What's your take on that area? By the way, Don Taylor sent me your way. Awesome. Love Don. I don't know anything about Cape Girardeau, but it doesn't matter, right? It really doesn't matter in terms of, you know, where you're marketing and prospecting. Just pick a market and start calling sellers or start doing something to get people on the phone, Raul. So awesome. Great question. All right, we're rocking and rolling, guys. We're calling Steven Johnson. Even when I change to these different tabs, you can see the name and the address and the phone number and the.
Hello?
Hi, I'm looking for Steven.
Hello.
Hey, I'm looking for Steven. Steven, is this the owner of 8928 Litzinger by chance? Do you own that property, buddy?
Yeah.
I'm calling today to see
Not
if
interested in
you have any
selling.
interest in selling that property, man. Do you have any interest?
No.
All right.
No
well,
interest in selling it.
you got it, man. Have a great rest of your day. I'll take you off my list.
You too.
Thanks,
You
buddy.
too. Good luck to you, buddy. Take care.
Cool. All right. So he's got no interest. And we're going to put that as, where's it at? Abandoned, answering, busy, call back, disconnected, do not call, not interested. So we're going to mark this as not interested, and we don't necessarily need to make note. So we're going to, when you click not interested, there's going to be different things. So let's take a break here just for a second to kind of show you guys, you know, how that looks here. So if I go over here to my phone system, all right, you can see here's the different phone numbers that I have. All of these numbers, by the way, are going to come over and they're going to ring this number. If somebody were to call these numbers or text these numbers, you know, it's not actually going to ring in my system. It's going to forward it over to this number here, which is just an answering machine, right? So it's going to essentially allow me to focus on my outbound efforts. And then at the end of my calls, I can then go see if anybody got a missed call or, you know, called me back and left me a voicemail, you know, all in the same spot. So it's a really, really easy place to kind of see what's going on. And it's actually not going to let me show you guys the call results while I'm logged into Dennis's. No problem. We can touch on that later. But essentially, when you get those call results for do not call, not interested, voicemail, whatever. You can then set up, what happens next. And typically speaking, you're either going to say, add them to be redialed later or take them off the list, add them to the do not call. So in that case, I marked not interested, and it's not actually going to add him to the do not call list. It's just going to basically say, don't redial him on this campaign. So if I add him to another campaign randomly in 3 months, it will call him again. That guy was nice, so there's really no reason for me to completely never call him again. Just doesn't make sense to, try to call him again today or tomorrow or next week. Like it's clearly, not interested in selling. All right, next we got Paul, 1022 North Rock Hill Road, 63119. Again, not Brentwood per se, because of the zip code here, but whatever, it's right down the street. Let's call him. And Raul, nothing wrong with Kate, by the way. It's just that's probably an hour and 30 to an hour and 40 minutes south of me. I just don't know much about that market. But if you're considering moving there, there's people there that have houses that need to sell, just like any other place that you could be, right? So, I mean, really, if you're going to be moving there, you might want to start prospecting there now. Or you move there. Why wait? Okay, this one, it just got let's see here, abandoned essentially. No, it didn't go to voicemail. And you can even create more call results and have them do different things as well. These are just kind of the system standards. And again, I've set up in the background. Setting up the system takes about 20 minutes. It's not hard, but you're going to want to play with it and get it the way that you want it, right? Definitely keep that in mind. All right, next lead here. We got Jason. Jason owns 10308 Niblick Drive. I don't have zip code on this, so it's not going to give me the property details most likely. Maybe it will. Look at that. It did. Random photo. But regardless, it doesn't really matter, guys. We can change it and edit it as we go. You just gotta make the call. So
I'm sorry, you have reached a number that has been
disconnected. So we're gonna mark this as disconnected number and move on. Now, what I could do is I could then go and I could call the next number on the list, right? And that's probably makes more sense to do it that way than just going to the next lead. Sometimes when I'm training, I get a little bit ahead of myself, but now I'm gonna call this number here, right? And that's also disconnected.
We're sorry, you have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service.
We're going to do the same thing. We're going to mark this one as disconnected number. For the first two, or it might even delete them off the list here. Let's try this one. But notice when you click it, it auto populates it down here. 9431 doesn't work. Disconnected. So what I need to do is I need to just delete the numbers out, and then it won't even matter, right? So let's call this one. I think I might have tried it, but try it again, no problem. So you can do it this way.
We're sorry.
Disconnected number. I'll just delete it out. There's really no point. And you can go through all the different numbers to reach the prospect. This probably makes more sense doing it this way than just going to the next lead, because basically it's gonna wait until the next time I go dial and hit that lead to call that number. Probably makes sense to do it this way, but it's really up to you guys.
Incorporated.
Oh, hi. I don't know if I got the right number or not. I'm actually trying to reach Jason Niff.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me, sir?
I can kind of hear you.
Got it. Hey, I don't know if I got
You're
the
real
right
soft.
I don't know if I got the right number or not, sir. I'm trying to reach Jason Niffin.
Who are you trying to reach?
Jason. Trying to reach Jason.
With who?
I'm with Household Easy. My name's Dave.
This is Edwin Claude Incorporated. I think you have the wrong number.
Oh, all right, sir. Thank you for your time today. All right, no big deal. So we're gonna mark that one as unknown, because it's probably the business line, and I'm getting a couple people that are saying they're having difficulty hearing me. So I'm gonna hook up a professional microphone. Hopefully that'll help. Give me 1 sec, guys. And I know that from experience, you don't necessarily need a professional microphone, guys, by all means. But because I'm live streaming this to not live streaming it, but zooming it with you guys, sometimes the computer is going to be a little wonky because it's on a Zoom call live with you all using the internet, right? And pulling bandwidth. And then I'm also trying to use the dialer here, right? So I'm going to just go ahead and change the microphone settings. Let's shop Sharon just for a moment. Let's go to podcaster. Can you all hear me? Hopefully y'all can hear me. And we got a good amount of people on the call today, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, we're going to go back over to the dialer. And we're going to hope that that's going to solve our problem here today. I think this echo cancellation might be screwing things up as well. Again, it's difficult when you're live streaming, but we're going to keep rocking here, folks. Okay, who do we got next here? We called that number. Let's call this number. So let's click it. It's going to populate it, and we're going to jump on in. This is number 2. Actually, number 5. I've deleted a couple. You can always see your caller ID right here too, and you can move this around the screen too, which is kind of nice. I kind of just like leaving it down in the corner. Makes sense. It's just simple and clean.
Hi, you've reached 314-993-3577. If you know who this is, please leave your name, number, and a short message at the tone. If not, don't call back. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to respect that guy. He didn't want me to leave a voicemail, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to just mark that as unknown, and we're going to move on to the next lead. We'll call back later and try to reach him actually on the phone, right? All right, next we got B. Blankenship, 2421 High School Drive. So in this case, when you don't have a name, like a first name, you can just say, hey, I'm trying to reach the owner of this property. Is that you? Do you have any interest? So on and so forth. I'm going to keep my eye on the chat here. I got a chat says, quick question, David. So I started using prop and call tools, hired a VA, fell off at the acquisition part, got overwhelmed with a 9-to-5 job. My question is, should I just invest in batch and hop back on the calls, or should I focus on building a solid team? That's a great question. And really, it just depends on what your goals are, as well as what kind of time and money commitment you have to invest into your business and into your marketing. So let's just take a quick break and talk about that just for a second here. Because again, we want to focus on cold calling today, but guys and girls, cold calling is just one form of marketing, right? What does marketing mean at the end of the day? It just means that you are going to spend time or money. You're going to have a budget of time or money to get people on the phone. That's all it means. Now, you can send postcards or do Google ads or radio or billboards or bandit signs or whatever, and you can get people to call you. That costs money. Or you can spend time knocking on doors, cold calling, texting, doing things that are going to cost you time. So to answer that question, it really just depends on how much time and how much money you're willing to allocate to your marketing budget. If you have time and very little money, then hiring somebody probably isn't going to be a good option for you. If you have time or money, but very little time, then hiring a cold caller, a VA to go do this for you and weed through the hundreds and hundreds of people that are not interested and don't want to be talked to, that's going to save you a ton of time where you may only have to talk to 1 or 2 people in a day from their 4 or 5 or 6 or 8 hours of efforts weeding through all of the individuals. So I love that question, but the way to answer it is actually with another question. What are your goals? How much money do you have to invest? How much time do you have to invest? If you don't have a whole lot of money, then you're going to need to put in the time. If you don't have a lot of time, then you can pay people to do this for you. In fact, I have some VAs that do this for me on my behalf. It's very rare that I'm actually in here making the calls, but I'm happy to do it for you all today because, of course, This is real estate school, and we're training and having fun. Let's call B Blankenship. See if we can't get him on the phone. I'm going to move my laptop just a little closer, and just in case it's pulling that mic.
Hello?
Yeah, hi. I'm looking for Mr. Blankenship.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Dave. I'm calling from House Sold Easy. I work here in Brentwood, Missouri, and I'm actually just calling some of my Brentwood neighbors to see if they have a property that they were interested in selling. I believe you may own 2421 High School. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're not interested in selling. You might as well take our name off your list.
Hey, you got it, man. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you, sir. No problem. So, guys, that was the first person that essentially said, take me off the list. There was a guy that I said I would take off earlier. This particular person said, take me off. No problem. Here's the great thing. He wasn't even rude. He was nice. You're going to get a lot of that. All the more reason to hire a virtual assistant to do this on behalf of you or your business, because, you know, it can be demeaning. It can be frustrating sometimes when you get people that are going to say, hey, and again, that guy was nice. Sometimes you're just going to get hung up on. You're going to get cussed out. You got to have thick skin in this business, guys, especially if you're going to be doing the outbound marketing. So I'm going to put this guy on the do not call list. So we're not going to call him back. Not today, not tomorrow, not never. He may get a postcard from us. He may search Google and find our business at some point, but we're not going to directly reach back out to that individual because he told us not to. So this is something you just want to kind of keep in mind. You definitely want to have integrity in this business. Thank you, David. Much helpful. Yeah, of course. It's my job to help you guys. Anthony says, any recommendation on sources to find VAs? Yes, I have a VA company that I work closely with. Discountpropertyinvestor.com/best VA. Go to that link, fill out the web form. It'll email you and Kareen, the girl that I use to help source me personally, my own VAs. And I'm going to share that with you guys. So check it out. The callers are typically going to be somewhere between, $6, maybe $7 an hour. I think they're $6 though, an hour. And you can hire them for 20 hours a week. You can hire them for 40 hours a week. It's really up to you and what you want to do. All right. I don't need to leave a note. I already marked this particular guy as do not call. So we're going to click here and go to the next lead. And now we got Philip Russo over at 2802 Jaeger Road, 63129. Let's go ahead and give him a call. Looks like it's going to be calling the first number. This is always going to show you the number. It's also going to show you the number here. So again, don't overcomplicate this. 99% of this effort is just time commitment to getting on the phone, trying to make friends with people. I'm going to be honest with you guys. 95 out of 100 calls we make, you're not going to get them. They're going to tell you no. They're going to tell you stop. This is a numbers game. If you want to set an appointment, you're going to have to weed through these 95 out of 100 people that are going to tell you no. But when you get those 5 people that say, yeah, maybe interested, maybe you get somebody that says, yes, I need to sell today, set an appointment, go out and meet them in person. All right. This is part of the game. This is the marketing that I was referring to. So disconnected number. We're going to go ahead and just delete this number off of here because I don't really need it in my system anymore. And I'm going to collect this one and we're going to call this one. And I'm going to work my way down the list here. And if you want to go about sending emails, if you can't get to any of these numbers, you can copy and paste that into your email client and you can even send an email. You can't do it out of batch here. You're going to want to send it from your own email. So when they respond, they get you, not some random customer service rep at batch, right? Keep that in mind. But yeah, discountpropertyinvestor.com/best VA. It's going to be a great place to find callers. At one time, I had 3 full-time callers. Right now, I just have a part-time caller. But, sometimes you'll scale it up, scale it down. This system is going to be helpful for you. So this call was abandoned. Didn't go to a voicemail. It wasn't disconnected. So we're just going to write abandoned. We're going to leave that in the system here. I'm not going to delete it out, but I'm going to skip on. Now, this one here looks like, I don't really know what that little thing is right there. I think that means that it's on the federal do not call. You hover over it, it's going to tell you, right? But I'm not prospecting to sell something to somebody. I'm not soliciting. So in fact, I'm not that worried about the federal do not call. But again, guys, I'm not telling you to call those, right? That's something that you're going to need to decipher on your own if you're wanting to do that. All right. I'm not worried about people suing me because I'm not trying to sell anything. That doesn't mean they couldn't try to do that. Some people play it safe and they filter those out. Again, that's up to you. Okay. It's up to you. Do what makes you comfortable and happy. All right.
Call's been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
So this is the 0270.
Zero is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yeah, hi, I'm trying to reach Mr. Philip Russo. Philip, my name is Dave. I'm calling from House Sold Easy today. I noticed you have a property that you own over at 2802 Jaeger Road, and I am looking to buy a few more properties over in the 63129 zip code. If you have any interest at all in selling that property, man, please give me a call. I'd love to talk with you more about that property and how you could essentially sell it to me. I'd love to make you an offer on it, assuming if you have interest, of course. But again, love to talk with you about it if you have interest, man. Please give me a call back at 314-710-4518. Again, my name is Dave, and I'm calling from House Sold Easy. Thank you, sir. Have a great rest of your day. Boom, just like that. I'm going to put voicemail, make a note, left a voicemail. Now, making the note, why would you do that? Well, over here in activities, you can see all the different times that we've already reached out to these people, right? We've gotten answer machines. We've gotten no answers. You know, this one most recently today was at 2:49. That's 4:18. That's today. You know, we've been trying to reach this individual multiple times with multiple different campaigns. You know, sometimes we're getting busy signals. Sometimes we're getting answer machines. So you can kind of see in here, the more you use it, the more data you're going to have. I may have certain callers, like Dana was one of my callers at one time. You know, Dana was calling. They were on a vacant list back in August of 2021, right? They were on a vacant list. All right. Casey Ruiz called them at one point. Dennis called them. These are different virtual assistants that I use. So you can see all of this in here, which is really, really cool. So the predictive dialer is, again, a one-off. Preview dialer. It's one-off. You can select which numbers you want to dial, and you can basically get a heads up on what is happening. All right. So let's try something real quick. I'm going to go ahead and log out just for a second. It's going to put me back into my campaign, not really truly log out, just log out of Dennis's agent account. I'm going to go over here to campaigns, and, you know, it's been about 45, 50 minutes, you know, and I'm obviously teaching and educating you. Also, I'm not just rapid fire calling people, but I want to show you all what it looks like to use multiple lines, right? We've just made, I don't know, 20 calls, give or take, using the preview dialer, where it's a little slower, it's one off, but it previews the lead. We can change this, and I can go over to predictive dialer. And then what I can do is, I'm going to turn on the answer machine detection, which it's already on. It's going to filter out the answer machine. Reason is, if I'm going to be dialing more than one at a time, I don't want to be leaving somebody a voicemail and then somebody else pick up. If it goes to the voicemail, I want the system to auto detect it and just hang up on them, right? Or hang up on that machine. We don't want to leave a message. They're still most likely going to have a missed call. So there's still evidence that somebody was trying to reach them. They may or may not call back. But again, I typically trigger the answer machine detection on when I'm using the predictive dialer. And also what I want to do is I want to see down here, when you go to the predictive dialer, there is a simultaneous dials per agent. How many do I want to do? I'm going to do 3, because again, I want to show you what this looks like. If 3 is too many, you can go to 2, or you can take it up to 4, 5, or 6, or 10. It's gonna warn you when you go past 3. Like it just did. I went too fast. Let's see if it does it again. Nope, I already went through. It's going to warn you, and it's going to say, hey, it's not recommended, even though it'll give you the option to go all the way to 10. I'm going to use 3 in this scenario. So let's go ahead and click save. So now we are over here, and we're using the predictive dialer. You can see the little thing changed. Let's go back over and switch account and log into Dennis's account so we can actually dial. Because in my administrator account, I don't have dialing access because I'm not an agent. I think there's a way to do it. I just used Dennis's. It doesn't matter. Okay, so let's go back to campaigns. You should only see one campaign active. There must be some others in here that he's in, because when I go into available, it asks me what I want. We're just going to click this one. And now notice that it's not going to preview anything. All right. But what's going to end up happening is it's going to start rapid fire dialing 3 people at once. All right. So just give it a second. Six, 3, 1, 4, 4 vacants and absentees. Play a connection sound. You can set up your different things. And it should start dialing here any second. You can hide the phone. You can show the phone. All right, what's going on? Why is that not working? Let's click off and go to prep work and then go back to available. See if that jump starts it. Sometimes that'll jump start it. Dennis is actually the real pro over here. He uses this a whole lot more than me. Essentially, any of the VAs that you hire, they're going to learn this system and they're going to be rock stars in it in a day or two. They're going to learn how to use all the different features and all the different things. And whenever you do get somebody on the phone that is interested in selling, you can push it over to your CRM, or you can email it over. You can do all different types of cool things to get it in front of people. I don't know why this isn't working here. It should be. Let's just be patient, though. Sometimes you just got to be patient with it. Let's try 6-3. Let's do this. Let's do deceased homeowners, or no, let's do the vacants. Let's join this one and see if that changes it by changing the campaign. You know what? The campaigns need to be activated, though. Let's turn them on. Maybe that's the thing. Dialing. There it goes. You can even do this one. You can turn them on and off right here. We'll even do deceased homeowners too. That's a good one. So I got multiple campaigns on right now, which you can see. Raul says, in the dialer, can you target the specific type of property that you are interested in? Example, a 6-unit or a Class B. Yeah, there's all different types of ways to filter and tag and you know, different things. Obviously, you're going to need to play with those. The best approach for me is to just find those particular properties in a list and then skip trace that list and then add the list in versus trying to add in a bunch of lists and then only call like 3-bedroom houses on all the lists. Like, it's going to be way more complicated than just prepare for that in advance. Like, just literally go pull a list of, you know, duplexes, or go pull a list of, you know, 6 families or whatever it may be, and then just dial that way. All right, we're having some issues here with the multi-line dialer for some reason. Let's play with it. That's okay. Let's go ahead and log out of Dennis for a second. Go back into campaigns, see what's going on over here. All right, no active agents because I'm logged out of Dennis. These are all predictive dialer, which is good. So what we want, so I don't know why that wasn't working. Let's try it again. Switch accounts. Let's go into Dennis as an agent. We're going to log into Dennis's account. And you can see we've already made 28 calls, right? We've been on the phone for 16 minutes. The average duration is, you know, only a half a minute because it's average, right? It's pulling in all of those, right? But the data and analytics are actually really, really slick in here. All right. So let's go over to the campaigns area, and we don't want to pause the campaign. We want to start calling the campaign. So let's click available and let's join this one. And then maybe I'm doing something wrong. Again, Dennis is the man in here. He does this most of the time, but usually there it goes. It's working now. Sometimes you just got to play with it, folks. But check this out. All 3 of these are dialing. You can go 4, 6, 10 if you want. I don't recommend that. You can. So it's calling these people. Now, I don't know who's going to answer, if anybody's going to answer. But when they do, it's going to pop up on the screen and show me what we were looking at before. It's just, I need to act a little quicker. So you can use this tool to reach hundreds of people in an hour's time, right? Or obviously 2, 3, 4, 5x, you know, depending on what options you select. And then once it connects with them, it's going to beep, which you'll see in a second. And then it's going to pop up on the screen like it did before. what's going on. Answer machine detection, by the way, is on. So when it detects an answer machine, it just hangs up and it moves on. So we're calling Robert, we're calling Amber, we're calling Susan. All right. And you can see up in the top how long it's going to go. And usually it's going to time out after about 33 seconds. Now we're calling Joseph. Susan's almost timeout at 33 seconds. And you can set the timeout 33 to 35, somewhere in that range typically. Sometimes it'll go a little longer like it's doing now. You can set that up in the settings. Again, it's going to maybe take you 15, 20 minutes to kind of set it up the way you want. But the great thing is there's lots of options in here to change it and move it the way you may want it to work, because you may want to use it a different way that I may want to use it. When I'm calling my vacants and my absentees, I'm typically using the predictive dialer, where it can use 2, 3, maybe 4 lines at once. When I'm calling, you know, a list that might be, you know, a little bit more likely to answer, like a divorce list, or maybe calling agents, which we're probably not going to have time to get to today, but that's okay. We'll do that on part 3, since this is part 2. You know, I may even use the preview dialer where I know a little bit more about them, right? But I'm dialing rapid fire right now while I'm jibber jabbing to you folks. So we're calling George, we're calling William, we're calling Theodore. All right. And these are, I've got multiple campaigns opened right here. So it could be an inherited 631, a vacant 63131. It could be a vacant or an absentee from 63144. It could even be a deceased homeowner leads. And which one was that? That was deceased homeowners from mom's house. Ooh, I like it. Good lead source. Those are good leads. So our rule says, have you ever had 2 people pick up at the same time? Yes, that does happen from time to time. And it's going to be more likely, Raul, than if you have 5 or 6 or 7 lines going than if you only have 2 or 3. So the more lines you have open, the more likelihood that is going to happen. And when that happens, it's going to play a pre-recorded message that you are going to then, you know, of course, need to record during your setup process. And it's one of the steps. You know, it's going to basically say, hey, you know, when you're already on a call and it's calling some other people and they pick up, you know, what do you want to happen? You can just have it hang up, or you can have it play a pre-recorded message. The message that mine says, and I might be able to find it for you here, but I can just tell you because I know exactly what it says. It just sounds like this. It says, hello? 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 Hey, I'm so sorry. I'm having difficulty hearing. I think my phone might be messed up. Can I call you back in just a minute? And then it hangs up. And then what happens is, let's assume, see, right now it's calling Michael. And there's the other 2 are paused just for a second. Sometimes it'll do that. The system's smart, right? But what happens is, let's say that Michael picks up and there's 2 other people dialing right now, as you know, in this example. Well, when I get off with Michael, anybody that heard that message, they automatically get dialed next. So if they heard that message and it says, hey, I can't hear you, let me call you right back. That's what happens. It calls them back next. Okay. I don't know why it stopped. Sometimes it'll do that, or I just got through all of the numbers. Let's go ahead and refresh. 28 calls, 1 active campaign, 42 remaining leads. So let's rock and roll. You have 3 warnings that need to be solved. What are these? Basically, you're saying you're out of leads in some of these campaigns, so import some new ones. We don't necessarily need those. Not really important for this training today. Let's go back to, it's showing available. You can show and hide the phone. And but again, that's an example of the multi-line dialer, and you can set it up in so many different ways. It looks like it's dialing right now on the vacants and the absentees. It's showing available, but it's not showing any of my numbers. Again, sometimes you have to just kind of toggle it on and off to kind of get it jump started. And again, I'm no expert at the dialing. I may be an expert at buying houses and talking to sellers, but I'll be honest with you folks, I'm not in here every day like my virtual assistants are. So maybe on the next training, we'll have them actually do the dialing, and I'll just be here to, you know, talk over what they're doing and even you know, be the person talking to the sellers. Must not be doing something right here. Here's what we can do though. Let's just do this. Let's go ahead and mark this as break for a second. Let's turn off all of these. except for the agent one. There's a lot of agents in there. This is actually from July 2022, but not a big deal at all. But wait, total leads 2,200, pending dials is only 2, but we do have pending redials. So there's plenty of them in there. Okay, perfect. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to available. No active agents. Is he not in this campaign? Again, guys, I'm not an expert at this. David and Dennis, he is in that campaign. Let's just try refreshing. If not, we'll just go back to the preview dollar so we can do a couple more before we wrap up the call today here, folks. All right. Okay. No active agents. There is an active agent. Why is it doing that? I don't know. Okay. No worries, guys. All good. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn these back on. They're all in the predictive. And there's redials in a lot of these. And we're going to go to break, and then we're going to go to available. We're just going to be patient. Sometimes it's going to take a couple seconds for the system to kick into place. If it doesn't, we'll go back to a single campaign with the preview dialer. And next time, guys, I'll be a little bit more prepared. Again, I don't do this every day. I have a team that does, but I'm not going to have my team train you. That wouldn't be any fun. I'm going to be here to help. All right, what's going on? Why is it not working? I'm not doing something right. I can tell you that's most likely the problem here. So no big deal. Let's end this here and let's go back. Turn some of these off. Let's modify this back to the preview dialer versus the predictive dialer. Save it. Manual mode. And then just start dialing this way. John Lowe, 9340 Crawford, 63144. Let's dial. Super simple. Don't overthink it. And you can see here in the event that, you know, you have the multi-line going, what's happening as you kind of saw before. All right, number's not good. So we're going to say disconnected. That one ends in 9981. And really, there's really no reason for me to keep that number in here. I'm going to delete it, right? Move on. I'm going to click that one. It's going to pre-populate. I'm going to click call. So really, I mean, you can even get through quite a bit of phone calls with the preview dialer. You don't necessarily need the multi-line if you don't want. It's really your preference. You know, maybe I know a lot of people, they maybe start with, I need to click available here and then click dial. I know a lot of people, they'll start slower like this and they'll get the hang of it. And you have a call script over here too if you want to use it. I don't necessarily use it because I know what I'm doing, but you can add one in. Hello? Hello, I'm looking for John. Is this John? I got through. I think it disconnected. That's all right. We're going to mark it as disconnected or just full answer is no answer. Let's go try this one. We just tried 0781. Let's try the 4898. Let's click that one, click dial. Now, one of the things that's really cool about this too is if I click off this and I say I want to go to my dashboard, but then I want to go back, I click that little button right there, boom, takes me right back to the lead. So I can see who am I calling, right? I can.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. I am trying to reach the owner of 9340 Crawford Avenue over here in Brentwood, Missouri. Do you happen to own that property by chance?
No, I don't.
Oh, got it. Okay, I'm sorry to bother you. Since I got you, do you have any properties you're looking to sell by chance? Totally random. Just figured I'd ask.
Yeah, properties are not for sale.
All right. Well, have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Bye-bye now. All right, cool. See, you guys can have some fun with this too. This doesn't have to necessarily be, you know, like scratching your fingernails on a chalkboard. Like sometimes I'll get somebody on the phone and, you know, we'll have a laugh or two, or well, you know, it doesn't always have to necessarily have that negative connotation. Like, oh, I don't want to go out there and cold call. Like, you know, you can cold call agents, you can cold call other investors, you can cold call vacants and absentees, you know, like I'm doing on this list right here, guys. All right, that one was the wrong number. So we're going to mark that as wrong number. And the great thing about these call results is Batch Dialer is owned by Batchleads, right? They're owned by the same company. So when I'm in here marking numbers as wrong numbers, or disconnected, it's making the skip tracing better in the back end. So all the users are contributing to make the data better. And that's why, from my personal opinion, Batch has the best data, because it's all the users are helping to contribute to get the right phone numbers. It's amazing. All right, wrong number. And that one again was the 4898. Notice that it took that number and it dropped it down to the bottom of the list. I don't even really want that number in there. Let's try this one. Click here. I believe this is I think I tried the top two already. No big deal if I didn't though. And again, guys, you can see the property details of 9340 Crawford right here. This is what the house looks like. There's the map of it. You can see the estimated value, when they bought it, when it was built. I mean, all the data is right here. How amazing is that? If you want to go pull the Zillow up, you click right there and you can see the Zillow. This estimate's 201. It's all right here. It's awesome. All right, that one ended. No answer or disconnect. Nope, not disconnected number. Let's just do it as a no answer, because that's really what it was. And we'll go to the next lead. Next lead, boom. All right, now we got Sam. This is one that we tried earlier, but notice that what it's going to do, it's going to siphon the numbers. Remember, I tried this one. This is the first one I called, but at the time I wasn't going through each number, right? So what it's done is it's going to go to the next number on my behalf. So 0723 is now the next one that I'm going to try. The one that I've most likely already tried was, one of these at the bottom. So the system's going to move those numbers around, depending on if you've called those or not. And again, you can email these people if you can't reach them from calling them. You can even go and text them. You can't text them out of Batch Dialer because it's a dialing software, but you could do that out of your Google Voice number or your CRM, whatever you want to do.
We are not available now.
Pretty sure I left this guy a voicemail already, so I'm just going to mark no answer on that one. And let's go to the next lead here. All right, Gregory, 9230 Shortridge Avenue. Ooh, 12522 Sunset Greens. That is a zip code that I am very familiar with. I was born and raised in 63127, so I know that really well. But let's see if Mr. Gregory, and there's all kind of many different numbers we have here. 3662 is going to be the first one that we're going to try. Let's try that one. And the property we're trying to buy here today, or see if this guy's got interest in buying, is 9230.
Automated voice messaging system. 314-650-3662 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Yeah, hi, this message is for Gregory. Hey, Greg, my name is David Dodge. I'm calling from Household Easy. My office is right here in Brentwood, and I think that you might own the property at 9230 Shortridge in Brentwood here. I own a few properties in Brentwood, and I'm looking to buy a few more. So I was actually calling today just to see if you had any interest in selling it, man. If you do, please give me a call back. I'd love to talk with you and make you an offer on that. 314-671-0080 is my return call number to give me a call back. Again, my name is Dave. I'm calling from Household Easy. Today's April 18th. It's about 3:15 p.m. And again, I'm just trying to reach you, man. If you have any interest in selling that property, I'd love to chat with you. Hopefully you have a great day, sir. Talk to you soon. Boom, just like that. All right, and we're going to say voicemail, and we're going to say left a voicemail. You don't necessarily need to leave a note unless you have something specific. But guys and girls, it's not rocket science. You can do it how you want to do it. You can siphon through all of these particular numbers. So let's go ahead and pause the calling. We've been calling for over an hour at this point. We've shown you guys the preview dialer. We've shown you guys the predictive dialer that you can use multi-lines for. And I want to leave some time for a Q&A. So let's go ahead and open it up. You guys are welcome to drop a comment or just go ahead and unmute yourself and talk to me. I'd prefer you to talk to me, but if you're at work or you're in the car, you can't talk for whatever reason, I get it. Totally understandable. But before we wrap up the training today, let's go ahead and leave some time for some Q&A. We got a few people on. what kind of questions you guys have, if any. I'm here to help.
Yep, David, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Awesome.
What difference do you have for Mojo dialer and then this dialer you're using right now?
So I haven't used Mojo Dialer for like 4 or 5 years. And I'm not going to say nothing bad about Mojo Dialer. I know a lot of people use it and have success with it. I am just a huge fan of Batch, all of Batch services, Batchleads, Batch Dialer. I used to use Batch Driven, which has now been basically brought into Batchleads. Batchleads has a driving for dollars side of it. It's like built into the mobile app. And I've been using Batch skip tracing, for, I don't know, 5 years now. And Batch skip tracing is also part of Batchleads. So you can obviously go to Batch skip tracing for a la carte skip tracing. You can use Batchleads for lists, skip tracing, driving for dollars, SMS. You can click to call out of there. You can do all types of awesome stuff. And then Batch Dialer obviously links up. So whenever I'm over in Batchleads and I pull a campaign and I skip trace it, I can click 2 buttons and it pushes it right into the dialer for me. So I'm not going to tell you that, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, one's better than the other. I'm not one to talk bad about other companies or products. Why do I use it? Because I use their other products. They work really, really well together. They're cost effective and they have really, really good skip tracing. So that's the answer I'm going to give you. If you're using Mojo or you want to check it out, by all means, don't let me stop you. But I'm a huge fan of Batch for so many reasons. They have great customer support. They have good products. They got the best data in the industry, if you ask me. So that's how I'd answer that. Hopefully that helps.
Yep, thank you so much. And do you send flyers too? Follow-up flyers?
Oh, we do. We
Postcards?
do you name it, man. We do postcards, letters, calling, texting. We'll email if we can't reach them via calling and texting. We got radio ads that siphon on and off. I'm not on currently, but occasionally I'll throw some ads up. I got an AdWords campaign that we just launched a few weeks ago that we're running pay-per-click to. Occasionally we'll do other things like bandit signs or social media marketing. We do a ton of networking, a ton of joint ventures with other investors. We get deals brought to us by agents. I mean, I've been in the game for 8 years and I've bought and sold almost 1,000 houses. So there's nothing that I don't, I wouldn't say there's nothing I don't do, because there are certain things that I just haven't done yet, like TV. But I'm very well versed in essentially all different types of marketing. But here's the thing, right? Regardless of what you do, I said this earlier, and you may or may not have heard me, but I'm going to repeat it just because it's really important. No matter what type of marketing you do, all of it essentially leads to a phone call. So we're either having a budget of time where we can just get people on the phone manually, like I'm doing here today on this training, or we can go send mail or use AdWords and Google and SEO and, social media, which we're going to have to pay to generate those leads. It's either time or money at the end of the day. But all of those roads lead to a phone call, all of them, every time. Yeah, so just keep that in mind. But awesome question. Yeah. And again, I've used it in the past. It's nothing, there's nothing wrong with it. I just really like Batch. So that's what I demoed today.
Also, quick note, like I send you message for that mortal conversion. So that's me.
What was it? I'm sorry.
The 100-unit mortal conversion project.
Oh yeah. Hey, drop some more information in there so we can help, man. Without knowing, how old it is and what kind of condition. So this gentleman here, he made a post over in Real Estate School earlier about a deal, which is what we encourage you guys to do. We're here to collaborate and communicate. So throw some more information in there and we'll do what we can to help you guys, because I'm in the process right now of converting a 67-unit motel into a 40-unit long-term apartment complex. So if anybody wants to do something similar to that, hopefully I can be of some assistance. So awesome. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. Thanks for making that post, and we'll do what we can to help. All right. Kim says, always great. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, sorry. I was watching a live video on mortal conversion, so I'm really impressed by your work.
Sweet. Well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words, man. We'll probably make $1 million on that deal.
Yeah, definitely. The one I have is pretty great. So let's connect.
Pretty awesome. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Kim says, it's always great. Indeed. Kim, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the kind words. Nick Johnson says, I was listening in my car. Great content and helpful. Absolutely. Guys, I didn't even get anybody on the phone that wanted to necessarily talk to me. I didn't set any appointments. You know, ideally I would have liked to have done that. But you know, that's okay. This is part of the prospecting game. I said it earlier. I'm going to say it one more time. I mean, whenever we don't have a monetary budget, right, to get our phone to ring, we got to spend time doing it. And whenever I've had callers for years, you know, on average, when I have a caller calling for, let's say, a 4-hour session, right, they may get, it just depends, you know, anywhere from 20 to 100 people on the phone, sometimes less, sometimes more. And they may get 1 or 2 people that are interested in learning more. Maybe might not be interested in having us come out to view the property, but they're essentially interested in selling and wanting to talk more. And their job would not be to make the offer or set the appointment. It'd be to send that information over to my partner, Mike, or me, or Dennis, who's one of our lead managers, to then call and see if they have some level of motivation. If we're calling somebody and the estimate's 207,000 and they're asking 210, that's not something I'm super interested to like go meet them at their house. Like they're not motivated, right? So this is a numbers game. Keep in mind, you know, you may call for 3 or 4 hours and get an appointment. Hopefully you do. It may take 8 or 10 hours to get an appointment, right? It's a numbers game. But the great thing about cold calling is it's the most cost-effective way to market to sellers, right? If you got several $1,000s to throw into an AdWords campaign or a direct mail campaign, you might not need to call a single person. You can sit back and just hang out at the pool like I do most summer days and wait for my phone to ring, or wait for one of my callers to get somebody on the phone that says, hey, I got this guy or girl, then they're kind of interested. And I say, great, let me call them. And I pick up from there and I say, hey, you know, you just spoke to Dennis or Dana or Rochelle or whoever is on the team calling, you know, and they told me that you had some interest. Awesome. You know, I'm an investor. I love buying houses. You know, I see you got this property over here at, you know, Main Street. You know, what's going on? You know, what are you asking for it? You know, does it need repairs? I see that Zillow says it's worth about this number. You know, I'm an investor. I don't typically pay retail. So like, you know, where are you at on the price? Are we even in the same ballpark? And if we are in the same ballpark, guys, I'm going to set the appointment. And I might even make them a verbal offer on the phone right there, right? But if they're not in the ballpark, they're not motivated, they're wanting more than the Zestimate, I'm going to most likely just say, you know, my offer is going to be somewhere much lower in this range, and you're asking in this range. You know, would you even consider something in this range? They say no. I say, cool. I'm going to follow up with you in, you know, 3 months and see if anything's changed. Right. So again, there are ways to, you know, automate this with virtual assistants. And there's ways to altogether to avoid calling. But again, if you don't have the money to put into a marketing budget, you are going to need to dedicate the time. Calling, texting, door knocking, emailing, whatever it may be. We do both. I'm not above cold calling. I just did it with you guys for over an hour, right? I don't mind doing it. However, I am a more mature investor that has money to invest into my team and my systems to where I'm typically just doing the motivated calls at this point. And I have the virtual assistants that are helping weed through all the numbers. Again, if you guys want a virtual assistant, I work with a woman named Corrine who helps me locate and source them. She has her own agency. It's about $6 an hour. Very, very cost effective. She also has virtual assistants to help with other stuff. So if you want somebody that does more than just log in and cold call for, you know, 4 or 6 or 8 hours every day, you can get lead managers like Dennis, for example, who works for me. Or, you know, I have 3 VAs right now. Dennis, Marjorie, and Mackie. And Marjorie does social media stuff for me. Mackie helps Dennis and Marjorie with whatever they need her help with. Dennis is my lead manager. And when he's not answering calls or following up, he's calling or texting people. Right now, he's scraping probate records so we can go mail them. So we're doing things. I'm going to be adding a caller, and I might even be adding another lead manager at some point, right? So you can definitely utilize virtual assistants to help. All right, guys, I got about, I don't know, 8 to 10 more minutes. I'm definitely not in a hurry, but I am getting kind of hungry. So what else you guys got? I'm here to help. And thank you for being a part of Real Estate School, guys. This is great. I love seeing the community grow and people on these trainings because I am dedicated Quote, you guys can mark my words. I am dedicated to make Real Estate Skool one of the best communities online in the next couple months and or years. It's not going to happen overnight, but for joint ventures and collaboration, and of course, education, all the above. So cool. We got time for just a couple more, guys. What you got? Unmute, drop a comment. I'm here to help. All right, Nick, Steven, Nate. Somebody's going to have something. Mario, you've already asked some questions. And yeah, whatever you guys got. Nick, what you got, man? What do you think? DK says, what's your favorite type of deal? Property class and type of work. My favorite type of deal is a deal I can get at a deep discount. I love that question because there's so many different ways to answer it, right? But the best deals are the ones that they need to sell, like they need to sell. They don't want to sell, they need to sell, right? So those are my favorite types because not only am I able to go get a big discount on the deal, I'm able to help them. They're happy giving me the deal at a discount because they just want to get rid of the deal or sell it and get rid of the problem and the mortgage and the headache and the taxes. So that's typically my favorite type is a discounted property from a motivated seller that needs to sell. And then the next part of that question is what kind of property class and or type? Guys, I'll do single families, duplexes, motel conversions into apartments. I own some commercial buildings. I'll buy lots. So I don't really have a particular type or class. It's really more so the motivation of the seller. You know, if somebody's got 30 acres that they want to sell, I'm interested in buying it if I can get it for 30 cents on the dollar, right? So it doesn't really matter to me what type. Most people, when they start, they're going to focus on residential, you know, versus commercial because there's more residential owners. They're easier to talk to. They're less sophisticated. So it just kind of varies. You know, each person's going to have their own opinion on that. But I'm glad you asked. Great question. Nick, what you got, man? I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's just a matter that it is a numbers game.
It is, man. It definitely is. And I would be doing you all a disservice if I didn't keep mentioning that. This isn't going to necessarily get you a motivated seller on the first call. It's possible, but most of the time, I mean, you're going to need to commit some time to this and have a routine and, you know, do it for an hour or two every day or 2 or 3 hours every other or every third day. Like, you know, typically what I tell new students that I work with is, you know, if you are brand new and you've never done a deal, you really need to commit 2 to 3 hours every day, right? And it may take you a couple of, you know, a week or 2 or 3, you know, to be able to get enough appointments to really find that motivated seller, right? But if you do enough of it, guys, you will stumble on a motivated seller. I stumble on motivated sellers every week, but we're doing a lot of marketing, right? Our phone is ringing all day long and we're ringing people's phones all day long, right? It's not, you're not just going to sit on the couch, watch Netflix and just get somebody to call you unless you're doing marketing. You got to get that message out there. So Nick, I 100 million% agree. It's a numbers game, right? But the more numbers that you're calling and the more opportunity you are presenting, the more likelihood you are to get a deal, right? It's so simple. I've done over 700 wholesale deals, over 200 per deals, almost 1,000 transactions. And I would say, you know, probably 25% of those efforts came from outbound calling or texting. That's a big percent, 250 deals almost from calling and texting, guys. It's not rocket science. Definitely. You just got to put the time in, got to put the effort in. All right. We got another comment here from Mario. Do you buy deals from your students? I do buy deals from my students. I'm assuming they meet my personal buy box. My personal buy box is typically within a 45-minute drive of my office here in St. Louis, Missouri. I don't typically like the Illinois side of the river just because it's just higher taxes and I don't have that many buyers over there for, you know, our property managers and or I will joint venture with my students on wholesales because I'll do that nationwide because I don't have to buy those deals typically to wholesale them and find a buyer. But if somebody wants to sell me or wholesale me a deal, I'm not buying in, you know, Tuscaloosa or, you know, Silver Springs or basically anywhere outside of a 45-minute drivable radius from where I live and work, just because I'm not rehabbing or fixing, flipping, or, you know, buying rentals all over the country. That doesn't make sense to me. You know, all of the properties that I rehab or rent, you know, they're close for multiple reasons, mostly for management of my crews and my property managers, right? But if you have a property within my vicinity that would make for a good rental or a good fix and flip, send it over. I'd love to take a look at it, and I'll be happy to pay you an assignment fee, or you know, we can partner on wholesale deals nationwide. But when I partner with my students on the wholesale deals, they have to have gotten it under contract, right? Otherwise, they're just passing me a lead, and then it's my deal. And they can watch me do it, but I'm going to take all the profits because I'm doing all the work. If they go out and they get it under contract and they put in effort, I will happily joint venture with them and help them sell it. That's, you know, just keep that in mind. Kim says, hey, what's Matt's last name? I was on a mastermind call with Kim just last night talking about Matt, who's in the group with us. Matt is doing $30,000 this month. He did 30,000 last month, and he did 30,000 the month before. This is his third consecutive month making $30,000 or more wholesaling properties. And Kim, his last name is Laser, and over in the mastermind Slack group, I can connect you guys here this afternoon so you can communicate and connect with Matt and ask questions to him as needed. So just for all of you all that are here really quick, and I know Nick's in the mastermind too, he just joined. Let's go back over here to Real Estate School, guys. If you click on the calendar, we have a ton of events, right? But we have a mastermind that we host on Monday nights and Wednesdays from 12 to 2. So there are two-hour calls each week, and those are essentially an upgrade, right? Real Estate School's free, right? But we have a mastermind, all right? I'm not here to sell you into that. If you want to take your business to the next level, fill out the application right there. We can talk about getting you in that group. That group obviously has access to everything you all have access to, but they get more access. They get 2 additional calls each week that are 2 hours long with my partner, Mike, and I, as well as a private Slack group for real-time communication between them and myself, as well as other mastermind members. So again, I'm not trying to sell you. Don't get me wrong. That's not what this is about, but I do want to offer it and let you know that it exists. So if you're interested, go fill out the application. We can talk more. Otherwise, I'm happy that you're here in Real Estate School, and you're going to learn a ton just from what you got here already, right? So Kim, I'll connect you with Matt in Slack once we wrap this up, and you and him can communicate. And if you have any questions about how he's doing 30,000 a month, 3 months in a row, he'll tell you. He's a great guy. Nick says the more you cold call, the easier the cold calling gets. Absolutely. And most of the time, people will do everything else. We talked about this, last night, Kim? I think it was last night. Most of the time, people are going to do everything else before they cold call. They're going to literally say, oh, we'll get to that. We're going to do that tomorrow. We're going to do that next week. And they're going to go build a website, and they're going to get an LLC, and they're going to get business cards, and they're going to get a logo, and they're going to want to have all their ducks in a row. And all they're doing is kicking the can down the road, right? Does it matter if you have a website to buy a house? Absolutely not. Do you need a logo to buy a house and wholesale a house? Absolutely not. Guys and girls, marketing is the business we're in. All right. We are marketers before we are investors. And when we're wholesaling, we're not even investors, in my opinion. We're marketing to find the motivated seller and find the deal. And then we turn around and we market to sell the deal to the cash buyers, right? If you are new and you're trying to wholesale, right? I'm going to do my best to help you, of course. But the first thing you need to understand and learn is that this is a marketing business before it's any other business. So don't delay. Get on the phone. And if you don't, want to go use batch and skip trace and pull leads and then use the dialer to multi-line dial and do all these different things, fine. That's okay. You can use your cell phone. You can use a free Google Voice phone. Just do whatever it takes to get started. And what does that mean? Get people on the phone. That's all that is. That's all there is to it. I love it. Kim says, thank you. Yes. Nope. You don't. Yes, of course. I'll connect you with Matt. You don't need a website. You don't need a logo. You don't need any of these things, guys. What you need is to start talking to property owners and ask them, just like I did 20 times on this training. Hey, do you own this house? Do you have any interest in selling it? Yes? Great. Let me learn more about it. No? Okay. Maybe I'll follow up. Maybe I won't. Whatever. Move on. But you got to get people on the phone. Nick says, sorry, I missed the call last night. I'll listen to the replay. Yep, all the replays are recorded. The replays for the mastermind are going to be held in Slack. whereas the replays from Skool are going to be held in Skool. FYI, Nick. Yeah. But yeah, I'm here to help any way that I can, of course. So cool, guys. Well, we're at 3:32. It's been about 90 minutes at this point. Let's go ahead and wrap it up so it's not too long of a training. The call replay will be added into Skool here in the next 20 or 30 minutes, along with a few links. I'm going to add in a link to get a free trial of Batch Dialer. I'm going to add in a link to get a free trial of Batchleads if you want to go pull lists and skip trace. I'm going to add that Dropbox link that I was sharing with you guys earlier that has over 250 successful virtual assistant cold call recordings. So you can use those to train your callers if you hire some callers, or you can use that to just listen and see what kind of questions they're asking to just know what a successful cold call sounds like. And then last but not least, I'm going to add a link to connect with Kareen, which I've already added in here to Zoom, but I'll add it into the call replay as well, about how you can learn how or connect with her and her agency to find you a rock star virtual assistant to do the dialing for you. Maybe you want to do it on your own. Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to hire somebody, right? Obviously, if you have the money and the resources to hire somebody, then you can pay somebody else to do that. If you don't, then you can jump in and you can do it yourself. There's no right or wrong way. You just you gotta do it, or somebody's gonna have to do it, right? Either way. Steven says, David, you are the man. Thank you for sharing. Hey, I appreciate the kind words. Thank you for coming. And guys, we're just getting started. Real estate school is like 3 weeks old. There is a whole calendar full of trainings and events and stuff. So keep your eye on there. We're going to be adding some new stuff probably later today. Probably fill up the whole month of May. And again, make posts, communicate, collaborate. That's what this community is all about, guys. And of course, there's free trainings. I'm going to be adding new stuff in there every day. I'm super excited to have this opportunity to work with you all. And again, I'm going to say this one more time, guys. I'm not here to sell you anything. But if you want to take your business to the next level, we do have a mastermind and we would love to have you. It's an upgrade. It's paid. Skool is free. And again, if you're interested, fill out the application. We'll talk. Otherwise, keep coming back to these trainings. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks, guys. Signing off.
Household easy, we close fast and anytime that works for you. Your house don't need it. We'll throw cash at it so fast, don't know what to do. Wanted her care to keep it.